Good morning and welcome to Public Perspective on AM 1340 KXEO. My name is Amy Higgins, and this morning we are here with the Mexico Middle School principal, Deb Haag. Thank you for being here.
It is my pleasure.
Ms. Haag, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to this point in your life?
Well, that's a funny question. Well, it's pretty easy. I'm a homegrown. I was born and raised in Mexico, Missouri, graduated from Mexico Senior High School in 1992, ran off to Cape Girardeau for a while and went to school. I received my bachelor's in middle school science, and so I taught middle school science in Rawls County for a year, and then I came back home, taught for 5 more years, was a librarian for 5 or 6 years, then moved to the high school as an assistant principal over instruction, and now I'm here where I'm meant to be at Mexico Middle School as the principal.
So what's your favorite part about being the principal at the middle school?
Well, middle school kids are hilarious, and so they're hilarious, and I have a fabulous staff, and so together pretty much every day is, filled with smiles and trying to teach kids how to live and be a preteen and survive sometimes and get a little bit of core work as far as science, social studies, math, reading, all that stuff in as well.
So did you have a good summer?
Oh, yeah. Summer's awesome, but it's good to have kids back in the building. The excitement at the beginning of the school year, it's just buzzworthy, and it's a new start. It's a fresh start, and so we really strive. Our mission is making minds stronger, and so we try to get off on a really strong foot and make sure kids know anything's possible if you put your mind to it. So let's do it.
That's great. So you've now officially wrapped up the first couple days of school, and I'm sure that was crazy exciting.
It is, at the middle level, the locker is sometimes the biggest challenge. So we've all gone right, left, right a million times, and we've opened lockers and we've retaught the procedure. And then, 6th graders are just an awesome. They're coming from 5th grade and they're so excited or so nervous, and it is a transition, but they all come with a sense of hope, whether they know it or not. Hope that they'll be accepted, hope that they'll do well, and that's exciting. And then, 8th graders are like, look at me. On the top of the food chain. This is awesome.
For 1 year.
For 1 year, but let them live their dream. And so they're fun because they're really ready to start being leaders, and they're so relaxed, but they're underneath that relaxation is just happiness and ready to be there.
So where do 7th graders fall into this?
Well, as a teacher, 7th graders were my absolute favorite. They are totally the middle child, and they have part 6th grader in them and part 8th grader in them, which is a happy medium of both grades, and they're just a neat group of kids every year. I think what I like the most about 7th graders is they grow up so much after that 6th grade year, and you think, man, together with parents, we are really doing things. So it's fun. It's really fun.
Awesome. So a lot of things are happening right now. The school is very busy, but I want to talk about enrollment. Okay. What does enrollment look like at the middle school or in the public school system?
In the whole district, we are around 2,220 kids.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. However, that will flux until after Labor Day. Different school districts around the country start at different times. Sometimes in the state, they start at different times. And so this is kind of the period where people are moving out, people are moving in. It seems people begin school years. Sometimes it's like the mid-beginning of the year. I don't know. It's very interesting. So we'll see lots of flux until after Labor Day. We are also serving about 120 pre-K kiddos, which is exciting because the more foundation we can lay before they hit that kindergarten year is huge. And our early childhood program really does a nice job of making sure kiddos are kindergarten ready.
Is that high for a pre-K number as compared to previous years?
I think they're running pretty full. I don't know. I barely get to see itty bitties, but that's about as full as they get, and that's pretty exciting that we can serve that number of kids in our community.
That's really good, and I know that going into into kindergarten with that foreknowledge is very helpful. in the developmental process.
Right. It gives kids confidence. It gives them a leg up. And so it's really a blessing to have that in our community.
So how many children are enrolled? I know that it changes at the middle school.
We're always running around 500. On big years, we're about 520, but this is a pretty normal year, so we're at about 500. 6th through 8th graders, and they are a hoot.
So the middle school, just so that everybody is aware, outside of St. Brendan's, is the only place where 6th, 7th, and 8th graders attend school.
Correct.
So that's why the enrollment is a little bit different at the elementary schools.
Right. So when our 8th graders go over, we usually get anywhere from 10 to 18 kids from St. Brendan, so depending on the class size. So it always bumps up the freshman number when they join us, which is nice.
Wow. All right. So you are definitely a very, very busy person. And so are all of your teachers.
They are.
And you've got some new teachers this year.
We do. We have 2 new 6th grade teachers, Kennedy Seifert, Laura Heron. Kennedy's teaching science. Laura is teaching math in the 6th grade level. They come from the Moberly area. So that's kind of exciting to steal Spartans away, make them bulldogs. We have a new Spanish teacher who is coming over 2 hours a day from the high school because we are offering a Spanish 1 credit to our 8th graders so that they can also have more room in their schedule for maybe classes at the Heart Career Center if they really want to focus on music or they really want to get all their sciences in. It clears up another hour so they can earn a credit hour. Super exciting. Her name is Emily Doherty, and she is a first-year teacher. We have a new health teacher, Travis Blevins. He comes to us from the North Callaway area. He has 19 years in education, and so he's going to be a huge asset for our staff. We have a new band teacher named Megan Hort. She is from the St. Louis area, and, you know, the Dixie Grays, we get to start that. So Dixie Gray members start at our school, and it is super exciting to watch what happens in band because it starts out sounding like flailing animals,
Yes,
ducks, geese, whatnot. And then by the end of the year, and really by the end of 8th grade, kids have accomplished huge, I mean, there are melodies in there. It's just absolutely incredible what band teachers do, I think. And then Austin McBride is moving over from Eugene Field, and he will be our new agriculture instructor, which is pretty exciting. And he is fired up. He is an FFA kid who was big into ag and in high school, and he is just super excited to get kids learning about the field of agriculture.
So I have a question. I know that the school was down an agriculture teacher at the high school. Will he be covering both the high school and the junior high?
We lost
middle school. Sorry,
that's all right. That's okay. I know when you grew up here, Mexico Junior High School is once in a while I catch myself saying it. But our middle school ag teacher from last year moved to the Heart Career Center, so she's excited because Amanda Sullivan, who many of our kiddos know, great teacher. She wanted some high school experience to broaden her portfolio. So she moved to the high school, and that's how we were able to snag Austin. You know, overall, our numbers for new teachers in the district are down. You know, we're in the low 20s. 2 or 3 years ago, we were in the 40s. So that's huge for us, and I think that speaks to the solidness of what we're doing in the district.
I completely agree. Yeah. So welcome to all the new teachers. I know that we had our back to school block party not too long ago. Thank you.
Super fun.
And we got to sort of meet all of them in the entire district and the sports teams. It was a crazy night.
It was crazy, but super fun. You know, people do not understand, especially if you grow up here, how amazing this community is sometimes, I think. I think that if you're involved and we have such a partnership with so many businesses and so many faith bases, which leads us into Bright Futures, which I can talk about in a second. But the block party is a perfect example of how the community welcomes in, and the new teachers are like, holy smokes, I had no idea this is what happened in your community, because, when you're from North Callaway or Moberly, you're close, and
Right.
they just were overwhelmed by how supportive, Rotary is, and Kiwanis and KXEO and the Chamber and Show Me. I mean, they've just been showered with love this week. So,
Well, I'm very, very happy to hear that.
yes, me too. Makes them want to stay. That's my philosophy.
That's right.
Love them so much they never want to leave, and then we don't. We'll continue that to dwindle that turnover rate.
I'm really hoping that happens. Consistency for our students is really important.
Yes, it's much easier to move forward with consistency.
Right. We're going to go ahead and take our first break.
Awesome.
And you're listening to Public Perspective on AM 1340 KXEO. Welcome back to Public Perspective on AM 1340 KXEO. I'm Amy Higgins, and we are visiting with Deb Haag this morning, and we're talking about school in general. We're talking about the middle school primarily right now.
Correct.
And a little bit ago, you mentioned Bright Futures. So can you tell me a little bit about what Bright Futures is?
So Bright Futures is an initiative to join community resources and faith-based partners with the school to help kids fulfill needs they have in order to succeed in school. So it's this exciting, really, really exciting movement, really, that has changed our community. And in the schools, we're seeing big dividends where we're getting more community members in our schools. We're getting more volunteers. Our faith-based folks are able to come in the school. It has always been kind of a definite separation of church and state. And while it is certainly not an incident where folks are coming in and preaching or spreading the word of God, what they are doing is being the hands and feet of God and really helping kids, because that's what they believe is important. So it's pretty exciting, and we have this awesome opportunity for anybody out there called Lunch Buddies. It's super exciting, and it's huge. If you haven't heard of it, which I hope if you haven't, then this is your opportunity to serve in Mexico, Missouri. This is a shameless plug for Lunch Buddies. 2 times a month, people volunteer to come in and eat lunch with a kiddo who needs just somebody to talk to or somebody to listen. And it is an amazing program. You can come any day. You just call to make sure they're there that day. You come in, you have lunch, you leave. And what we're finding is, while you think you're going in to help a kid, these kids have fulfilled a need in all the grown-ups. And so it's this win-win situation, and it's really changing the culture of our schools and our community.
I am so looking forward to figuring out who my lunch buddy is going to be this year. I cannot wait. Right. I know that sounds crazy, but this is like the highlight of my week. I'm waiting patiently to figure it out.
Well, that is Lunch Buddies. That excitement that you feel, that is how Lunch Buddies feel. They love it. And if you don't follow Susan Rocket on Facebook, she posts these hilarious posts from her elementary classroom. And so do it if you're on Facebook. She is a perfect person to follow and kind of get a feel for what happens, because kids tell you the most hilarious things, and it's just a great time, and it's a win-win.
So basically, even if you're not somebody who feels like you could help guide a child academically, can you tell me a little bit about what kind of success students are seeing just by having a conversation with somebody new?
So at the middle level, what we've noticed is it's the attention piece. And sometimes it's hard to get attention at home if you have multiple brothers or sisters, or if your parents are working all the time. You can ask my children. I think they feel that way sometimes. But what we're seeing is a decline in trips to the nurse. So children who went to the nurse repetitively, oh, my ear hurts, which is real, my stomach hurts, my head hurts, probably a call for attention. We're seeing those numbers drop. So we're meeting a need, an emotional need for kiddos. They don't want to disappoint anyone. My favorite story is one of the kiddos was making a poor choice, and it was he was debating it in his head, and he wasn't very happy. And Kevin Freeman, the superintendent, is his lunch buddy. So I said, here's the deal. if you make that choice, my first call has to be to the superintendent of schools. Who is your lunch buddy? And he's like, well, then I guess I won't do that. I said, yes. So, it's not wanting to let them down. So kids don't want to let their lunch buddy down. So, I mean, in that instance, it caused us from having a huge discipline issue just by being able to, that relationship between Mr. Freeman and his lunch buddy. And how great as the principal, I mean, it saved me hours of work and heartache. And for the child, it empowered him to make the right choice. What a gift, right? Mm-hmm. That one adult can empower a child to make the right choice. It's amazing. So come on out. And if you think you're not qualified, you are. You are super qualified. You just have to have a smile on your face. And really, even if you don't have a smile on your face, these kids will put it on your face. So come on over. You can sign up at central office, at any of our schools. We all have applications. Just take the plunge. Be the difference in a kiddo's life.
I mean, really, it's for 9 months. If you feel like this isn't for you, you've got next year that you can maybe make a different choice. But it's almost guaranteed that you're going to find something that you love about it, something that you are attached to, and you're going to want to continue.
Absolutely.
I am super excited.
I can't wait to hear.
I can't wait to do this.
Awesome.
This will be my first year.
Woohoo!
So this is going to be so good. I can't
Are you
wait.
doing elementary?
I don't know.
Oh, you're just in it.
I think I marked anything.
Oh, fun.
So I don't know where I'm going to be, and I don't know what student I'm going to have. But I am so excited.
Well, I will say, when we started it at the middle school, this seems really elementary, and our kids have just loved it. As a matter of fact, our 8th graders who had lunch buddies have invited their lunch buddies to go to high school with them. So that speaks to the need. So I'm thrilled that you're doing it as well. What a great role model.
Well, I try. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not necessarily a kid type person.
You don't have to be.
But I keep hearing all of these tremendous stories, and I've heard them from so many different people in the community. From you, I've heard Chief Rocket's stories.
Yeah.
I have talked to Dana Keller. Shane Cox is so into it. There's just been so many stories that bring tears to my eyes because people are so happy and their kids are seeing such great results. So thank you for talking about lunch buddies.
Makes my heart happy. I'm happy to.
So Bright Futures has other things as well. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So other than meeting individual needs that we put on Facebook, we will be having a Socktober in October, which I'm sure the person who has the radio spot closer will want to say this, but I'll just give you a preview. And we will be donating socks because, that's something, a basic need kids need. And believe it or not, socks are not as prevalent as you would hope. And sometimes kiddos have to wear those multiple days. And we also are having an Undies 500, which I think is in September. And we will be, I know, isn't that funny? I love even saying it, where we collect underwear for kiddos. So that's also a really cool event because talk about a basic need that is awkward kind of to ask for if you're a kiddo, and then just having that there. In our school, our Bright Futures Council really helps promote our tutoring program, which is after school, where we work on homework because tutoring at the elementary level is covered through federal funding, and we have to find our own funding. So Edmonston has helped us and is helping us next year. The Griffin Foundation has helped us in the past, and then the school district pays for some of it. But we give kids an after-school snack. We make sure they have their homework done, but we also work on basic skills. So test-taking skills, math, English. And so we really try to meet the needs of the kiddo. And then we work on some social skills there too. So Bright Futures works on that in my building, which is really exciting. It's a super, super, super program.
Yes, it is. Is there anything you would like to add about Bright Futures?
That's it. But if you want to, I'd encourage anybody, if you have questions, find somebody in the school, ask. We'll tell you what you need to know.
All right.
Okay.
We're going to take our next break.
Awesome.
And you're listening to Public Perspective on AM 1340 KXEO. Welcome back to Public Perspective on AM 1340 KXEO. We're visiting with Deb Haag about the Mexico Middle School, who just finished their first week. And there are so many great things happening, including you all are still waiting on your assessments from the end of the school year last year. Is that correct?
Correct. So, as many people know, the state of Missouri changed how we were testing, and so they have not released our scores yet, which is very hard for my teachers, for sure. I'm not sure if kids and parents are half as excited, but we really kind of use those to help direct some of our instruction. And it affects our annual performance report as a building and in the district. So the latest release has been that we will see those scores sometime in September. So we're keeping fingers crossed. The state is really trying to do their due diligence and make sure we have the information we need and they don't get anything out there that is not correct, which I'm very thankful for. Our Desi's really done a nice job with that. And while it might be frustrating for us, getting things right is sometimes more important than getting them done quickly. So as soon as we get our test scores, we'll be able to start making some decisions. In the past years, we have not had a detailed report, which kind of tells us what kids did well on and what they didn't, so that we can help drive our instruction. But they're bringing those back. They're called item benchmarks. So we will have a better scope of how our curriculum is being written in some areas we may need to focus on or continue or cut and whatnot. So that's pretty exciting. After we get our test scores, we'll be patiently waiting our annual performance report scores, which come in November. So that is sometimes what people call the grade card. It is what the middle school got. We had 100% last year. So I've been there for 4 years. We started at 86 or 87%. We moved to 93, then we moved to 97, and then last year was 100%.
So what is that graded on?
So we look at attendance and then our test scores. And so the middle school really pays attention to attendance. The middle level can be very hard because of the emotional needs of kids at that age. We know that everybody's like, oh, I hated middle school. And it's because your body's changing and you're caught between being a kiddo and trying to turn into an adult, and you're certainly not ready to be an adult. So those hormones and puberty, it's just a really special time. God bless their pea-picking hearts. So, it's very hard. And so all that stuff gets in the way of attendance, not to mention what could be going on at their home. So we spend a lot of time, if we're making Mind Stronger, you can't do it unless you're here. So how can we help you be here? So we spend a lot of time on attendance, and then our scores in science and ELA, English Language Arts, and math. And teachers spend a lot of time making sure kids know what they know, and they can also then produce it on a test, because that's the tough part, right? We have kiddos that know it, but then struggle a little bit to get on the test. And then there are some that have deficiencies or opportunities for growth, and we try to capitalize on that. And we're not perfect, but gosh darn it, we are trying our best to get as many kids as far as we can. Making Mind Stronger means all of us. And so we really use those reports to grow, and we're just patiently waiting.
Well, I'm sure that they will come, and they will.
And hopefully they'll be okay.
I'm sure they'll be great.
Yeah.
I know from having my niece in the middle school that she comes home happy, and she learned so much. She's always learning so much.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
All right. So I want to talk a little bit about extracurriculars.
Oh, yes.
In the middle school.
So pretty exciting. Football practice started Monday. Volleyball and cross country started Wednesday. There is still time to come out. We believe part of making Mind Stronger is being involved. And we know that kiddos who are involved do better in school. So that's one of the things that, we're excited to. Their kids, 7th graders, are so excited to start sports. We don't let 6th graders. MSHA doesn't allow them, but 6th graders also have a lot to transition into. Elementary to middle school is a big jump, just like 8th grade being a freshman. And so we give them a second to get okay on their academics, but they are so excited to start in the 7th and 8th grade. And they're fired up. Now, if your kid is not athletic, or whoever you love in the middle school is not athletic, that's okay, because anyone can join our student council. And you have to serve on 3 committees, which, could be decorating for a dance or volunteering in the community, which is awesome. It really gives kids a chance to lead and serve, both which are equally important. So that's an awesome opportunity we have. We also have Ag Club and Builders Club, which is like a middle school key club, which is connected with Kiwanis, and they do a ton of service projects. It's also a neat club, and anybody can join that. So we have lots of things you can do at the middle school. And then people say, but 7th, back to the 6th graders who are not playing sports yet. I don't know if the community realizes this, but the YMCA offers a free membership to every 6th grade child. So if you're a 6th grader, all you have to do is go with your parent. They sign you up and you get a card. And because we are so close, you can go over anytime after school. You can go before school. It is an amazing thing they do to allow 6th graders to come in to the Y. It's called the Super 6.
Fantastic.
It is fantastic.
How did I not know about that?
I don't know, but now you do. Isn't it awesome?
Yes, actually.
It's really, we're lucky. We have 2 Y employees that serve on our Bright Futures Council as well. So, that partnership really just grows, and we are lucky. The YMCA lets the middle school do so much. From swim, we have we do swimming in our physical education courses. We learn about the weight room. It is an awesome partnership.
So the school board is working a bond post-passed to make some changes to the schools, and of course those aren't happening immediately.
Right.
But do you know much about them?
Yeah. Well, we're getting all the details out. We have been scurrying and hurrying and looking at plans and changing plans and trying to almost see what we'll need in the future as well. I can speak mostly about the middle school. We will be getting a gym, we think, and a storm shelter, which is needed at the middle school because, construction was in the 70s. It was the thing to do. But
yeah, don't let children look out windows, right?
Well, that was thank goodness. Eventually, we have some on the outside, but we're going to build that storm shelter, and that just kind of puts people at ease as an educator. You think, oh my gosh, if we really had a disaster, we'd be in some trouble there. But we're fixing it, and thank you to the community that supported that bond issue to keep our kiddos safe. Really, I'm not sure they know the impact that they have given and the peace of mind they've given to the teachers and the staff at the middle level. And the principal and the assistant principal. I think both Ed and I are thinking, oh, thank God we have a good plan. So, and really that's going to happen a lot quicker than probably Mexico gets. We have started digging for soil samples to look at foundations, and they're in the process of bidding those jobs out, and we will start as soon as we have that plan in place, and that could be as early as January, February, March.
So you said that
exciting.
Also they would be getting a new gym.
We think so. We're pretty excited.
No more rubber floor gym?
Won't that be delightful? That rubber floor, I tell you what. If you went through Mexico Junior High School, you'll never... And now Mexico Middle School, the middle schoolers don't know that the gym floor used to be brown. You won't have to live through the rubber floor. But yes, that area will become probably used for the band. So
that's fantastic.
Right. So we'll get them out of... They have outgrown the band room, which is exciting, but they need more space. And those are all details that we're trying to work out, and we're trying to find win-win scenarios for all our programs. And yes, we are fired up.
I mean, sure
it's
that's
so
true.
exciting. I mean, Mr. Crossley and I are just busting at the seams to get started, but
so many new changes, so much exciting stuff.
It is.
Is there anything else you would like to add about the middle school today?
We're just focusing on reading, of course, and behavior, which is what we've done the last 4 years. We try to be very consistent. It's what kids need. I think that people feel like we don't teach reading at the middle. Like once you get to middle school, we don't worry about reading, but that's not always the case. Actually, we worry about it for our highest readers and our lowest readers. And so trying to meet kids where they are is what we're doing. And we're just so excited. We're happy to be where we are, doing what we do, making minds stronger. It's a real gift to be in the middle school.
All right. Well, I want to thank you again for being here today.
My pleasure.
It has definitely been enlightening, and I can't wait to see what the middle school does this year.
We're hoping for big things.
On a side note, become a lunch buddy.
Yes, lunch
Children
buddy,
need you.
That's right. Part of making minds stronger. We want everybody to be part of our mission.
That's right. All right. Well, thank you again.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And you've been listening to Public Perspective on AM 1340 KXEO.